Hey all, Kurt Sasser here from TGT at Fan Expo Canada 2010, continuing on at the Anthology booth. We're here with Rawls. How you doing today, Rawls?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for asking. You know, this is a great project. I saw you doing some wonderful sketches there with an amazing robot and all that stuff. But tell us, how did you get involved in the Anthology project?
They bound and gagged me. No, it's actually a funny story. I frequent, they're all my friends, and I go on their blogs and the websites, and I saw that Nick had started this project, and I commented on his blog, and I said, oh, I would have loved to have been a part of that. And he emails me back, he's like, well, it's funny enough, he goes, we actually wanted you on it, but we just didn't ask you. So, long story short, then they were just like, hey, come on, jump on. So here I am.
That is funny. It's just like, oh, I wanted to do it. No, I want to be in it. So then the question is, what was your story with the Anthology project?
My story, like the actual story in the book?
Story in art.
Yeah, my one's the first one in the book. That's actually another funny story. It's not a very common story. I had this idea of doing like your kind of typical superhero genre, something a little bit more cliche. But I had this old story called Mr. Dung and Beetle, and it's just these stupid characters that I'd made up when I was actually serving a mission in England. And my wife said, why don't you use those characters? I was like, no, nobody's gonna like that. And as it turns out, everybody loves the character, right? And it's a piece of manure, and and his little beetle friend, and it just turned out fantastic. I couldn't have hoped for better.
So then, how did you get finagled into being the very first story, though? I mean,
we drew lots. No, I don't know. It was up to Joy and Nick, and Joy and Nick really are the ones to thank for such a beautiful book. They really put it all together. The order of the book, the cover of the book. Joy did a fantastic job. So it's really all thanks to them.
Great stuff. Well, with all of this artwork, with all this talent, are you going to be doing any collaborative efforts, maybe something on the side rather than the second? I know you're going to work on the second Anthology book, but what other projects do you have on the go with these guys?
Right now, I actually have my own graphic novel series called Agent Orange coming out, which is the robot that I was drawing there. So that will be coming out 2011. So that will be an ongoing graphic novel series, which I'm pretty excited about. So doing that, as well as my day job, as well as the Anthology project, I think I'll have my hands full.
As well as being married, as well as
having a 3-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so hands full.
What's the website, though, where we can see some of your Agent Orange work, or maybe, we know the Anthology project work, but maybe some of your own personal work?
Yeah, so obviously, the anthologyproject.com, and then on the Anthology project, you can actually look up all the artists. It has a list of all the artists and all their sites, so it goes to their blogs and stuff, and my personal one is just www.rawls.ca.
Easy to remember, rolls off the tongue, it's perfect.
Right. Thanks, man.
Hey, now, one final question. We can't let you go just yet, but, Fan Expo is a great convention, full of energy and life. Tons of people here dressed up, obviously, the joys of that. But when you pack up, go back home, visit your family, and kind of reflect on this convention, what are you personally going to take away from it?
There's obviously a few things. We just really pride ourselves on people coming up to us and really giving us great feedback. We love when people come up and are excited about our project. Our labor of love. People come up and say, "Oh, I wanted this." It's such a good feeling. But another great aspect is you have a lot of young aspiring artists that are here. Not just people dressed up. You have people who really care about the creative industry, and especially young budding artists, and we have an opportunity to kind of give them our insights and any advice that they might need, coming into the industry. So.
Well, thank you very much, Rawls. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of the convention, and thanks so much for this interview.
No problem. Thanks, man.